We Americans just love Christmas. It's a billion-dollar industry. We're obsessed with all the lights and the tinsel and the garland and the elf on a shelf and yards of wrapping paper. We spend endless hours making sure that our Christmas decorations are just perfect. We even like to compete to see who can have the largest light display, or how many rolls of wrapping paper does it take to cover a cubicle. And most of these decorations are plugged into an electrical outlet somewhere. And that brings me to the coverage that's often overlooked because you don't realize you don't have it until after you've had a devastating loss. Did you know that Christmas trees and Christmas lights cause $14.8 million in property damage a year? So when your client's office building burns down to the ground because their overzealous Christmas elves were decorating their office, it'll be too late for you to talk to them about ordinance of law. So what is ordinance of law anyway? It may be best if we start with what we know the standard policy will cover. So coverage is provided for direct physical loss to tangible property, and the loss settlement will pay out replacement costs for like, kind, and quality. So in my example, there was a direct physical loss to the building, so the policy will pay out. The problem arises that if the building codes have changed since the building was originally built, you may be forced to add things to the building that were not previously there, like a sprinkler system, or handicap ramps, or handicap bathrooms, or even an elevator. Sometimes these things can add up to 25% more to the building cost than what was anticipated. And another thing to keep in mind that there are some communities that have some laws in place that if the building is damaged less than 50%, then the whole building has to be demolished and rebuilt according to the code. So maybe this time your building needs to be 60 feet from the road, but last time it was only 30 feet from the road. So how will that unendorsed BOP or package policy that you wrote for your client respond? Well, it will not pay for the part of the building that was not damaged, nor will it pay for having that demolished, nor the debris removal for it. So you need to make sure that you're adding an endorsement for ordinance and law to the policy. Ordinance and law is made up of 3 particular parts. There's part A, which is coverage to the undamaged part of the building. Then there's B, which is the demolition of that. And then there's C, which is the extra cost for construction. Grange has an endorsement called Optum that can be added to their policy. It will provide coverage for the undamaged portion of the building up to the policy limit. Plus, it can give you up to $250,000 worth of extra costs for the construction and the demolition. So you want to make sure that you're adding this valuable endorsement to all of your policies. This will help you not have to have that awkward conversation with your client after they've had a devastating loss.